Hello everyone and welcome to the Tech House for the very first time in 2020.
Hey guys, how you all doing? Really? That's just great, I'm doing...
I am Superstar64, and today, in front of me, I have the new rarest computer I've ever owned. Why is it the rarest computer I've ever owned? It's because it's one of a kind. You see, this is a custom-built Intel Pentium 4 based computer. It may not seem so special, but hey, I think it's cool. Now the reason we're filming on the floor is because I don't want to put it up on the desk because I already have a pretty good setup up there. And I really don't want to change the configuration until I'm done with this. So, let's take a look at this computer, since you've been staring at it. First off, I should probably censor that logo because, well, it has the last name of somebody who lives in town. Of course, below that a bit, we have the Intel Pentium 4 badge. Pretty sure you can tell what era this computer is from. Now, another thing you might notice is that the power button is kind of represented by Pac-Man. Not gonna argue with you on that one. And there's also a reset button for when your computer locks up. We have USB in there, although I've already looked inside this computer. I've already adjusted a couple things in there to no avail. And I don't think those are actually hooked up to the computer for some reason or another. I also figured out by looking inside the computer, this zip drive in the front here is not hooked up to the computer. Although when we do open the cover, you will probably figure out why. Of course, on top of that, we have a Sony branded floppy disk drive, because 2003 computers still had those. Blank space, actually one of the hard drives is over there. And here we have a Sony DVD-ROM, actually I think it's a DVD rewritable drive. Wow. And we have yet another Sony DVD drive. Geez, Sony was really getting into the DVD game in the 2000s, right? Completely disregarding the PlayStation 2. There's not much else to talk about in the front here. And I really don't want to shift it over to the back because, well, everything's plugged in back there already. Like, really have much to talk about, it's ports. Where things really get interesting, though, is on the inside of this computer. You see, this is no ordinary Intel Pentium 4 based computer. This was meant for graphics processing. So let's take a closer look. Got the power supply up there. Pentium 4 ready, of course. Got a fan there. Fan on the cooler, on the CPU. I'm pretty sure that's all stock cooling, by the way. But this thing wasn't necessarily meant for games. Has 1 GB of RAM. Under all that is a Pentium 4.
The center of your digital world.
When things really get interesting is when you look at the drives, the input methods, the way you interact with the computer at all. You see, alright, we have the DVD drives here. I'm pretty sure those are IDE. I haven't looked into that too much, but hey, what did you expect? I got this computer like 2 days ago as the time of filming this. The floppy and the zip drives. Of course, the zip drive isn't even plugged into power, so when you turn it on, there's that green light in the front doesn't even come on. But here is the interesting part. There's 2 hard drives in here. And in my testing, I actually got a chance to start this computer up and mess with it a little bit before I actually took it home. I think one of the hard drives is going bad. And I also looked under here. This is for some reason like a fan carrier under the hard drive. Don't ask me why they put that there. But in the expansion card, you may have noticed something. If you looked close enough. You see, the drive controllers for whatever the hard drive is using is on an expansion card. And that would be because this thing uses flippin' SCSI drives. I know. That dead technology that the old Macintosh computers used to use. And servers for a long time. Yes, this computer has SCSI drives. It was meant for graphics processing. You need that to be fast. So anyways, I think that's about it for the inside of this computer. I think it's about time we fire it up. Now, before I really get into much, alright, well, don't think I unplugged that. This computer might start up on its own. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like it's going to start up on its own. So, never mind. It started up on its own. This is why I call it the jet engine computer. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it off so you can see the whole boot up process. Now the entire setup for today is just about everything I got on the same day, besides another computer I got on the same day that's not nearly as interesting. So of course I got this nice mouse that's actually USB, but it's hooked up to the PS2 port. Good old IBM keyboard and 2 monitors. You may have noticed there was a connection for 2 monitors back there. That's because it supports dual monitors with that nice graphics card. So let's fire it up, shall we? Already, okay, yeah. This time the VGA turned on first. That's DVI and that's DVI and that's VGA. I mean, the Dell monitor is actually newer, but who cares? So, Intel desktop boards. Remember this old splash screen? Probably not. And we're actually going to have to go into the setup utility because the CMOS battery's dead. Using the keyboard, we can go ahead and change the date to 1/29/2020. I'm not going to bother with the actual time. So we're going to mess with this a little bit, and now we have to hard reset the computer. Using that reset button, of course. Intel desktop boards, once again. It even has the Pentium 4 badge on there. Yeah, you remember that remember the joke from the installing Memphis video? Oh, and also a Pentium CPU. So, because I didn't mess with this actual hard drive configuration, this might work, this might not work, probably won't work because one of the hard drives is probably failing. And I'm not entirely sure which one it is. A disk read error occurred. Well, shoot. And of course, now again. See, VGA turned on first time. It's kind of fun to see which one will start first. Or which one will start first. Nice. So. Looks like it's going to work. So, once again, I'll this time. I say yes, you're up. That is a thing. So, what are we... Okay, yeah, this time the DVI showed up first. What are we going to do? We're going to go into boot. And we're going to change the hard disk drive priority. And have the SCSI idea 4 first. And then we save changes and restart. How many times have we seen the Intel Pentium 4 splash screen already? You tell me, because I don't want to go back into the footage and check. Now this time, on the other hard drive, it would have given us a bootloader, giving us the option of Windows 2000 and Windows XP. This time, it should just boot straight into Windows XP, assuming both hard drives haven't killed themselves yet. But I have a feeling that did absolutely nothing. Restart. I don't know what happened, but for some reason that did absolutely nothing. Part of me has a feeling it might not have been the best idea to put SCSI drives in this thing. Most Pentium 4 PCs didn't have SCSI drives. Eh? Hey! Hey! We have the option now. Okay, this might just kill everything, but we're gonna try Windows 2000 Professional and see if we get anything other than a Windows boot error. Ah. Ugh. I have not seen this error yet. It seems like Windows 2000 just gives me a different excuse every time I try to boot it. So we'll see if we have any. We'll see if we have any luck getting to the bootloader again. But other than that, I think we're gonna have to try Windows XP then, because I know for a fact that Windows XP works. Okay, so we're here again, and we're just gonna boot Windows XP. Are you for flippin' serious? Okay, so maybe doing that hard drive switch might have screwed something up pretty majorly, actually. So we might have to try Windows 2000 again, see if that works. If not, I'm busting this thing back open. When that hard drive restarts, it's just a bad sign already. Actually, I had this thing running, and I tried to browse the Windows 2000 drive. It was still turning off and back on again. But Windows was able to browse the files, so Windows must have a thing where if it doesn't work on the first try, it doesn't even try again. But I don't think it's going to start at the moment, so we're gonna have to crack it back open. We'll be right back. Okay, so I didn't bother to show any of that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the computer on. I disconnected the fan on the hard drive that had the fan, so we'll see not only how it sounds now, but what happens. Now, for some reason, the power supply likes to squeal when I first turn the switch on. And then I discovered that when it stops doing that, the computer turns itself on. Now, you know what might be nice is if I actually went ahead and turned the monitors on. So as you see, all the BIOS settings were reset, because I probably need to put a CMOS battery in here. So, what do we get? Right. Once again, it only works if you turn the system on. If it works first try. So if we have any luck this time, we should be able to get into Windows XP. Of course, we don't have any luck. So let's do the whole SCSI order switching again. Alright, should get the device now. Then we're starting again. Hey! Well, we're not going to test our luck this time. We're just going to boot into Windows XP. Fat but sexy. That didn't work though. At some point I'll get this computer starting up again. Just you wait. But I think because things are out of order means it doesn't like to start as it's supposed to. Alright, well that's probably not going to work. So now we're going to try some troubleshooting. So we're going to make sure this computer isn't hot at the moment by turning the power switch off. So, what do we want to do? We are going to try some troubleshooting here, as I think I said before, by unplugging one of the hard drives. And then we'll see which one is which. Although I might have to unplug the cable from each one. Whatever. It works, hopefully. So now we're running on one hard drive, and we'll see if this one's the working one or if it's not, after we fix that issue first. And now it is a boot. I think we found the bad hard drive. If we go back into here, we should be able to go ahead and unplug this drive now since we know it's bad. If, you know, the shutting down is any indication. and we can most likely dispose of that drive at some point. So, we're going to unplug the cable as well from there. And at some point I'm going to have to replace that. So, now that we have the other hard drive hooked up, let's try booting it up again by a hard switch. So, hopefully, if everything works correctly, we should boot into Windows XP. Fat but sexy. Yeah, I know. That's probably going to get annoying, but hey, you can blame Nathan125 for that one. Boot failure? What in the heck is wrong with it this time? Well, we can try spamming F1 to figure that one out. Right, the SCSI ID is still 4, which might be causing conflicts, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, that is...
Right.
So, everything is so as it's supposed to be, except it still doesn't want to start. I don't know why I exited saving changes, because I did absolutely nothing there. Alright, I have a feeling, yeah, that just didn't work at all. So, one last thing I gotta try. And I'm just not even gonna put this to film. With a SCSI ID of 1, this should work. Now the other thing I want to try with this computer later is seeing if I can actually get it to use an IDE drive, possibly, with a SCSI card in it. Also, I'm looking at the caps in this computer, and they aren't as bad as I thought they would. Some of them are kind of bulging a little bit, but they're not puffing out yet. Unlike some of the capacitors on the motherboard in the Pentium 4 Dell that we used last episode. Because I've looked into that. Oh my, is it gonna boot it? Yes! Windows XP! Now we can actually use the computer. That's really loud, you know. Just maybe it's because I'm sitting right next to the computer, but that is just incredibly loud. And it's not necessarily the most pleasant sound in the world. Is it gonna play it? Come on. Yes! It played the Windows XP startup sound. No, hang on, I have to make a reference to the other episodes. And there
was the lovely
Windows XP startup sound. That must have been like a very horrible boot time. That took forever. So whenever the hard drive quits clacking around like that, we might actually be able to explore this a little bit. Because I guarantee you that hard drive is starting to load system stuff. Now, I think it's pretty useless to have a dual monitor setup if you're not going to separate the displays. So, what I want to do is I want to figure out how I can actually get one of these displays to show something other than the same thing. Because at that point, you might as well just cut down to one display and be done with it. The only reason that you should ever have the mirroring of display is if you're using a projector, in which case you want it to all be the same. But even then, I would still prefer to just have two separate displays with different resolutions. Or perhaps, you know, the dual monitor setup doesn't work as I want it to because the graphics drivers might not be installed as I want them to, which is just great. So, actually, here's an easy way to figure that out. Oh, I should probably also censor that start menu because there was the name of the original owner of this computer. So, we go into the computer and properties. So, of course, get this lovely screen. Oh, geez, that lag. Good old 2003 computing, am I right? I should really just throw the Superstar XP assets on here. Device Manager. This should tell us everything we need to know about that graphics driver. There we go. Other devices. Video controller VGA compatible. So, this thing has no idea what the heck this graphics card actually is. It just knows that it exists and it needs a driver. Also SCSI and RAID controllers. Also, I noticed before that when I was exploring this and I had both hard drives plugged in, I was actually able to get it to work. But, oh, okay, yes. So, the oddity that was happening before was that in Windows XP, the local disk was set to the F drive instead of the C drive, like on just about every computer. And even then, I've noticed like, if I have two hard drives plugged into the same computer at once, and they both have operating systems on them, and no matter which operating system I boot to, whatever hard drive has the system that's currently being run is set to the C drive. Case in point, my 07 Dell that runs Windows XP and Windows 7. Yeah, I have a lot of Windows XP computers. It's a problem of mine. But see, now that I've cut down to one drive, I still have local disk F here. Okay, it's a 34 gigabyte drive. I'm pretty sure the other one's also the same capacity, considering they're basically the same drive. So, why is it set to F when it's, by standard, it's usually set to a C? That would probably explain the Windows 2000 bootloader we were having earlier, where we had Windows 2000 Professional and, of course, Windows XP, fat but sexy. I'm going to be saying that a lot in this video. Thank you a lot, Nathan. Where was I at again? Oh yeah, the C drive. So basically, I think the reason is because when Windows XP was installed on here, it was probably an upgrade to this drive. So my theory is that when the upgrade was performed, Windows XP automatically set its default drive to F, well, because Windows 2000 was set to C. I don't know if that's how it works. Someone's gonna have to correct me on that by trying the same thing. Might be a possible future experiment in relation to probably a bonus episode maybe. But let's just look around, what's left on the hard drive. I don't know why I'm laughing about that. Now, the odd one's out over here. I'm just going to be calling him that because his name is also James. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait. Wait, cut. Okay, so, Mr. Odd One's Out over here said that he deleted all of his personal folders off here. We'll be seeing about that because we actually have, stuff like my ebooks. And the downloads folder still has stuff in it, even though, wait. File format converters. This isn't breaking Windows XP. This is Windows XP exploration. Winter News 2014. Are you saying that this computer was used in 2014?
Prominently. Okay, yeah, this is all personal stuff. I dropped the mouse on the floor.
Okay, yeah, but that's just all personal stuff. I really shouldn't have just looked into that. What is file format converters? I'm really curious to figure that one out because I have a feeling that, it's Microsoft Corporation, right? Compatibility pack for the 2007 Office system, right? So this isn't just some stupid one-click convert your PDFs and stuff. What's with all the breaking Windows XP references lately? I really don't know. Oh, I also noticed there's a My Computer shortcut on the desktop. That might also have been another side effect from the Windows 2000 upgrade. Whatever. So, of course, we also have Internet Explorer on here. What kind of programs do we actually have left on here? So we have Microsoft Office, presumably 03. Oh, Windows Installer. What are you going to do now? Microsoft Office XP. Right. So. Oh, what's this say? This license too. God of that. Okay, yeah. I should really show about this. No, reason I really forgot you account. Because this sounds really nice to me. Not one of 2 years. I want to make a lot of money. I'm not getting that. Okay, so it says for install, and it keeps doing this. I'm wondering if this is for right now, or if it doesn't work like it's supposed to. Okay, yep, there's Microsoft Word. Can we get Clippy on here? Insert, format, tools. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, is Clippy in this version? I want the paperclip, darn it! You know, probably I probably shouldn't stand directly next to this computer in case it blows up or something. Yeah. There's a keyboard test for you folks, and it completely passed. .kop, yeah, with my luck, that's a file extension. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's Clippy in this version, so nobody cares. No. I want to see if there's actually graphic design programs on here. We have Navigator, RIP. Well, I don't think anybody died, so... I don't... this stuff is on the desktop, but... Okie data, that was from a printer I saw the same day I got this computer. Yeah, this really isn't the most interesting in the world. Jeez, I really should have thought of this episode before I started filming it. Okay, so, we're just gonna stop right there. Turn off computer. Yeah, another telltale sign that your graphics driver isn't installed. The standby option is disabled, So we can't actually put the computer in sleep mode. So, we're gonna go ahead and turn off the computer. Do-do-do-do. As my grandpa once said, Windows has left the building. You just gotta love the sound of that hard drive spinning down. But that is not the end of this tech video log. Don't you worry. We still got more to go. So stay tuned. Okay, so what we're going to try to do now is I jacked an IDE cable from the Pentium 4 Dell, specifically the one for the hard drive, and now we're going to see if we can actually run that with the SCSI card. Yeah, you can see the kind of bulging capacitors, but not entirely. I should turn the switch off as well. Not the game console. So, actually, one of the nice things about this case is that it actually came with a bit of a, I think you can call it a schematic. I'm not entirely sure. It came with a diagram of how the motherboard is on this computer. Although I believe it actually goes this way. So, looking at this diagram, we can actually trace to where the IDE is. Of course, there's the PCIs, and on the board, you can see there's the SCSI card. Or maybe you can't see it in the frame. There it is. Hello! So, and there's also a cable spaghetti in here. So, near the RAM, you should be able to see where all this stuff plugs in. Like the IDE drives. So, following that, we're going to shove this stuff out of the way. Ow. If I even can. At this point. This computer's a bit of a mess. Okay, I think I found the IDE connector. It's deep in there. So, good luck, buddy. Alright. Hopefully I can get this in there correctly. That's surgery. Except I'm not certain, so I don't know how that actually works. I don't know if I have surgery. The closest thing I can think of to it was like a console moves. So I'll have to both hands in the machine and pull myself up. Thank God. That didn't sound good. Actually, we're gonna screw something up. Okay, looks like I got it in. So, now is the easy part, where we plug the connector in, and then we shove that in there. I'm not even going to bother to screw it in. Now we're up to 2 hard drives again, except one might not work in the first place because, well, you know, it's not SCSI. hopefully, yeah, I think I have that set to the master. No, I think I reset cable select. We'll just see when we power it on. Okay, I should try not to plug it in backwards. Boom. That should go directly to the power supply, and we're gonna click it back on. And it's probably gonna start itself up, so we can go ahead and see what happens. Assuming it doesn't commit suicide. Well, it doesn't look like anything went wrong so far. Doesn't really matter too much because it's gonna tell us to go into the BIOS setup anyways. This is also pretty fun anyways because, well, we can actually see if any of that worked. Okay. So, I actually have a feeling this board might go back to 2001. That would be pretty crazy. So, boot hard disk drives. First hard disk drive, idea 4. Right. So IDE might straight up not be enabled at the moment. IDE configuration, IDE controller, both. Go secondary, or maybe just get both. Hard disk pre-delay. 3 seconds. Go with that. Okay, so the master is the Maxter drive. So we did something right. However, I'm not entirely sure if that. Oh, the CD drive is completely removed from the boot order. Did that screw something up? I don't know. But boot configuration, plug and play operating system. That's not going to help me. So I may have to remove the SCSI card in order to get the IDE controller to work. But we can exit saving changes and see if that does anything. Of course, we have to hard reset the computer yet again. This is kind of getting annoying. So, Intel desktop boards. Good old splash screen. Right, a smart error has been detected. F1 to resume. Okay, cool. So, I guarantee it's going to boot into Windows XP again. That's a given. Unless it tries Server 2003, because that's what's on that hard drive that I just plugged in. What in the world just happened? Okay, so it might have just tried to boot into Windows Server 2003. Or it just completely restarted for no reason. But of course, this is a completely different hardware from what that computer is actually used to running. Actually, the computer that hard drive is from is the same computer I pulled a RAM from for the iMac G5 video. Fun fact for you. Okay, so it's kind of stuck in a boot loop, probably because I did that in the first place. So, we're just gonna stop that there. I want to end with success, so we're just gonna have to unplug all of that. So, what can we take away from this? Probably nothing. I just kind of wanted to show off this custom Pentium 4 PC. Well, that was a fun filming session, but I think it's time to get everything back to normal and go ahead and do my own shenanigans with this computer. It's not the 96th. Exit saving changes, and now we get to reboot. It'd be fun to, oh geez. Well, it wouldn't be fun if this fell off the desk, that's for sure. It would be fun to revisit this computer someday, maybe get Windows 2000 working, but at the moment, I think I'm just happy with it running Windows XP again. Every time. So, I don't have much else to say at this point, so we'll just watch Windows XP start up, and then I'll get to shut it down at the end. I really hate that read write sound. That just really sounds problematic. Whatever. Thank you all so much for watching this, and I will see you in the night sky. I'm getting sick of waiting for this computer. Well, we're not going to safely shut this down anyways. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the night sky.
Let's sing a little song with 8 little words on a rocket ship and flightless birds. Kevin. 3, 2, 1.